Hey witches, welcome back to the channel. Once again, this is Hectarios, Witch of the Realms. For today's video, we're going to be doing our new moon reading for March 2nd, 2022. Once again, first, right off the bat, I want to say I do have a flare-up of eczema going on my knuckles for some reason. I've never had this before in my life, but here we are, and I just want to apologize for how gross and ugly it looks. And please excuse that, and pray for my healing, please. I also got the Witch's Almanac for this year, the new one. This one is dedicated to the moon, transforming the inner spirit. So, really gorgeous. We have the new moon. Others things say March 1st or whatever, but I found when I looked at the star chart app on my phone, it seems like it actually is occurring on the 2nd. But we all know with these lunar tides and energies, it's really the 3 days, right? The day before, the day of, and the day after. You can tap into these energies, right? So this says, spend time alone. Okay, and we also have Matronalia synchronizing with this new moon. Yes, I use a little miniature sun card from a little miniature tarot as my bookmark because it's cute. This article just talks about, well, you can pause it and read it if you want. And if you didn't see the last video I just put out before this, I'm going to be using the Starseed Oracle deck this time. And I did an unboxing and first impressions of this, so if you want to go watch that video, you can. And I will have to use the book because this is an Oracle deck that I have no idea what the card meanings are. Now, before we get into the cards, I do want to show you in the Star Chart app. Well, first of all, this is happening in Aquarius, right? This new moon. So we have the moon, Jupiter, and the sun all conjunct. Very, very auspicious energy with Jupiter being present. Jupiter is known as the greater fortune in astrology, so he brings a lot of good luck, good fortune, expansion, growth, prosperity, and abundance, good health, everything that is good and prosperous for us. Jupiter brings that energy, and with conjunction of the sun and the moon, of course, the sun is the outer self, the moon is the inner self, the spiritual self. So it's just a lot of, oops, I always do that. Oh, and Neptune is also there. Maybe that was a good, happy accident. So Neptune is here as well. Very interesting. And one more thing I did notice that I thought was pretty cool. Over here in Capricorn, you can see that Saturn and Mercury are conjunct as well. So that's a very interesting energy. I feel like that'll bring a lot of breakthrough in communication, self-expression, sort of pushing past barriers and limitations that maybe we have placed on ourselves or that others have placed on us. And then over here in Sagittarius, we have a conjunction of Venus and Mars. So that's also a very interesting energy. There's a lot of balance going on. Mars is known as the lesser misfortune in astrology, while Venus is the lesser fortune in astrology. So they're sort of balancing each other out here in Sagittarius as well. And those are really the main conjunctions that are going on with this energy. Psychically, what I'm feeling from that is I feel like there's going to be a lot of people pushing through limitations and barriers and self-limiting beliefs and self-doubts, and could be also imposed by other people, limitations and doubts and things like that. But I feel like there's going to be a lot of breakthrough and pushing through that energy. I feel like this will be a time when people are coming into greater self-expression. I want to say pushing out of your comfort zone when it comes to your self-expression, but really that's not truly what I feel, because I don't feel like it's something that you're not comfortable with. I feel like it's more so about, well, really symbolically what I'm seeing is the butterfly, right? The butterfly coming out of its cocoon and just showing itself and blossoming. And so that's really what I feel like, this blossoming social energy, this self-expression that's just coming out of you and pouring out of you in a way that it maybe hasn't before, or that you just haven't allowed yourself to before, or that once again it could be other people were imposing limitations on you. But it just feels very positive and very much like the sun coming out and butterflies flitting and flying around, and the springtime energy and the blossoming flowers, and just that sort of opening up of this expression of yourself that you maybe have not shown before or haven't shown in a while. That type of energy I feel is going on with this. Let's go ahead and get into the cards and see what else the Starseed Oracle has to share with us. Now I align myself with the Most High God and the Holy Spirit Hecate. Please communicate the truth to me through these cards so that I may be guided for the highest good. Thank you, and so may it be. I'm calling out to the fairies. I'm calling out to the star seeds, the energies of the cosmos and stars. What messages can you share with us for this new moon? Please give us your divine guidance now for our highest good, greatest success, and joy. What messages do we need to know? What actions do we need to take? What do we need to be aware of? Please give us your guidance now. Thank you, and so would it be. So we're going to do 3 cards, like I said. All paths lead home. The keywords are inner authority, intuition, turn your gaze within. That lines up very well with what the Witch's Almanac said about spending some time alone. So yeah, it feels like this coming home to ourselves, within ourselves. Like I said, with the expressing a part of yourself that you haven't in a while or that you haven't before. I feel like that's coming about because of the energy of this. Turning your gaze within, all paths lead home, inner authority. Feels like coming home to yourself. The next card that we have is the Great Severing. Mars energy, anger, conflict, softening to love. And this once again pairs very nicely with the Mars and Venus conjunction. Really interesting going on there. I don't necessarily feel this like anger and conflict energy that this is putting out as a prompt or a keyword, but the softening to love and the Mars energy in general, I feel like could be definitely with that Mars and Venus conjunction. Mars energy is passion, unbridled and raw, and that can manifest as anger and conflict, but it can also manifest as passion in the sense that's good, right? A strong, loving energy. Expressing that energy can come out very heated, but that doesn't have to be in a negative sense. You know what I mean? Like it can be just very passionate self-expression and communication. And the final card that we have is the Blue Flame. Spontaneous awakening, activation, integration time. For some people, this energy that I'm talking about, this sort of self-expression energy, this energy that's rising to the surface as you come back home to yourself and to your center, it can be very spontaneous. This is something that you just woke up one day and you were like, you know what, I feel these vibes and I'm just going to go with it. This is some sort of spiritual activation that's happening inside of you. It's not really a conscious thing. Once again, we have the intuition being highlighted here. So this is a subconscious, emotional activation that's happening, and it's coming from your soul. It's not coming from your conscious ego mind. And it's time to integrate these energies, because we have, you know, Mars and Venus in balance, conjunction. So this is about integration. This is about coming together between the spirit and the body. I feel like this is a spiritual download. This is a upgrade to your soul center, to who you are, who you really are within yourself. This is an upgrade and an integration of that energy, and sort of you coming to some sort of activation or realization or awakening of who you truly are within your soul. Like I say, it feels like a coming back home to self, because it's not something that you weren't aware of or that you didn't know on some soul level, but this is the activation of the integration of this energy. It's bringing it more to the surface than what it ever has been before. It's bringing it more into the center and integrating it more into your path, into your self-expression, into your aesthetic, into your body, the way that you carry yourself, the way that you present yourself, the way that you are, the way that you're perceived by others. It's integrating it into yourself, bringing it out of the soul level up to the surface and everything that you do. So this great severing energy being between these two, I feel like this is really about this is a new beginning. This is an ending and a new beginning. Because you're having to like the serpent shedding its skin, you are letting go of everything that's not this energy, right? Whatever you've come home to and you begin to activate and express and show. Once again, I'm getting the images of the butterfly coming out of the cocoon, spreading its wings and showing its full glory, right? Everything that's not that energy, this is what you're severing out. This is what you're letting go of. And that's a really good thing. It's like I'm seeing now also a window that's really dirty, and this is, you're cleaning that window off and letting more shine through. So whatever has been part of your expression for a long time, that now you're realizing is not truly you, because you're something else, you're something more that you're wanting to be more in alignment with. This is you letting go of that energy that isn't that. It's like getting rid of the murkiness or the just dead weight or I feel like I've explained it well enough. Just whatever this energy is that you're growing into and integrating into your life, this is a new beginning. And so it necessitates that you remove whatever isn't in alignment with it. You might be feeling a little bit of an internal conflict with this as well. Maybe this is something that you've been holding on to for a really long time. It's something that you're really comfortable with, but it's something that you might have to just let go of in order to fully embrace this energy. So there might be a little bit of a conflict between these two, but you know in your soul that this is the direction that you're growing in and going towards, and nothing's really going to stop that. So you really just need to let go of whatever this is, and I feel like you will. It doesn't feel like it's too clingy or too heavy or too hard to let go of, but you might be feeling a slight internal conflict with that. So I just want to mention that, but it's something that you will get past for sure. I feel like the card should be this way. Well, actually, it doesn't make sense this way, because it's like you're coming into this energy, coming home to yourself, right? And then you realize you need to let go of whatever this is to fully embrace this. That's what I'm feeling here. I just realized I did not even use the book. I'm so used to just doing tarot readings without books. Okay, all paths lead home. It's normal to look to the external world for answers and guidance. What's revolutionary is turning your gaze inward. You're being called to source your guidance from within, to study the terrain of your inner landscape, to develop a reliable relationship with your soul. The more time you spend connecting with your soul, the deeper the connection will become. The challenge for empaths is staying connected without cutting off from the world. The best way to do this is to develop a daily practice that helps you to keep checking in, to draw on the wisdom within and let that be the authority in your life. If this card appears, you may be called to develop or switch up your spiritual practice. You see what I was talking about? It's letting go of something to make way for the new. To get in the habit of turning your gaze within, getting centered for the day before consuming anything from the outside world. To start from a feeling of at-homeness and throughout each day to find simple ways to keep coming home. This doesn't mean switching off from the realities of today's world. We need as many conscious people as possible living with their eyes wide open. Rather, it's a call to start your day from a place of connectedness, grace, and devotion. So when you go out into the world and when you let the world in, you do it from an unshakable state of being. A state where you draw your strength, authority, and guidance from a place deep, deep within. Starseed Soul Inquiry. How are you being called to turn your gaze within? So that's the book meaning of this. This is the Great Severing book meaning. This is a shadow card, one that may feel confrontational. Don't be afraid. It's here to bring to the surface anything that's standing in the way of letting love in. You see, this is letting go of something that's in the way of whatever this other energy is that's coming in. The warring planet of Mars is our constant reminder that it's important to soften, forgive, and find our way back to love. There are many things in the human experience that make it difficult for our heart and soul to stay open to the never-ending source of love. We're all wounded, and our unconscious wounds inflict wounds on others. It can feel like a never-ending dance we can never escape. If we aren't careful, before long, we'll see the world as a scary, dangerous place where fear and anxiety roam free. If this card surfaces, it could be for two reasons. Firstly, for you to acknowledge the difficult emotions, situations, conflicts, wounds, and fears that are causing you pain and anxiety. And secondly, for you to find your way back to love. When we're hurt, it's normal to close our heart to the world, to let the painful experience confirm the agony of separation in earthly life. Soften and find your way back to love anyway. When fear, anxiety, and paranoia paralyze you, it's normal to want to hide away from others and the world. Come out of your cave and soften your heart anyway. We're all innocent children spinning our way around the world. Find a way to see the innocence in all people, especially yourself. Starseed Soul Inquiry. How are you cutting yourself off from love? How can you soften toward those you have hurt, or who have hurt you? So that's the energy there in the book. And now we'll look at the blue flame. This is a card of awakening and energetic upgrades. Perhaps you're going through a period of spontaneous awakening, receiving visions and having experiences that are out of ordinary. In the West, little is known about the process of spontaneous awakening, and it can feel very scary when we're going through it alone. Elsewhere, they can be seen as auspicious experiences, with those going through them being treated with tender care. The blue beings are thought to be activating beings with great potential for healing and upgrading our cellular structures. They appear in moments of extreme awakening, activating a physical Kundalini awakening and deep cellular and DNA healing. Many people glamorize the awakening process. However, in reality, it's much messier and more difficult than most of us believe. We must first let go of what we think we know for sure and how we make sense of the world. That isn't easy. The awakening process, even when it's spontaneous, takes a considerable amount of time to integrate, and awakening without integration can leave us feeling very ungrounded. If you're in the midst of an awakening, treat this time as deeply sacred and give yourself ample space to ground and integrate the extreme changes you're going through. Starseed Activation. Okay, so this one actually calls you. Place the card on the portal of your heart and whisper the following. I allow myself to surrender to the awakening process that's right for me. I take things slowly and integrate my experience each and every day. So that might be something you want to include in your daily affirmations and meditations as you're embracing whatever this awakening energy is in your life. So yeah, now that I read the book meanings, it sort of does pretty much perfectly align with what I was saying intuitively from these cards. So actually these keywords are very good because they brought me right into the energy of these cards, and also the imagery is very good because it brought me right into the energy of these cards without really even having to use the book. So yeah, but that's going to be all for this reading. Hopefully this helps you and you take what works and what fits in your life and leave what doesn't. This is a general reading, so you'll have to take it that way. If you would like to book a private reading with me, you can get in touch with me through the contacts below in the description. And if you would like to join my Patreon and access all of my more advanced lessons and courses on witchcraft and magic and metaphysics that I don't share publicly on YouTube, you can go ahead and go join the Patreon for that. And if you would just like to support me and my work that I do publicly here on YouTube, you can also join Patreon tiers for that, or you can just send a donation. And once again, all of the information for all of that is down below in the description box. And I also do spell work services and ritual services as well. So you can contact me for that too, if you would like. I hope that you have a wonderful new moon, and I hope that you fully embrace whatever this transformation and change that's happening within you at this time. Don't be scared to let go of whatever this other energy is that you've been holding on to, or that's just been part of your core energy for so long. This new energy is really coming in to take you in a new direction, and you need to not be scared to let go of whatever this is from the past. Hope that you have a great new moon and embrace these energies. As always, until next time, hail Hecate, hail to the witches, hail to the starseeds, hail to the fairies, and blessed be.